وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد الرمل
Ezbacı, tabirat evladı ve Resul-i Esselam Efendilerimizin sair enbiya ve Resulü filan hazıratın ervah şereflerine pirimiz Bilal Habeş radıyallahu anh Efendimizin, Şeyhimiz Sahibi Müstehif Şeyh Abdülkerim el-Kıbrıs Rabbani Hazretlerinin ve Alâsus bu caminin banisi ve bugüne kadar içerisinden gelmiş geçmiş imam ve zinkaimlarının ve kahve ehli imanın ervahı için Allah rızası için El-Fatiha. Euzubillahimineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. İnnallâhe ve melâiketehu yusallûne alen-nebi. Ya eyyühellezîne âmenû sallu aleyhi ve sellimû teslîmâ. Allahümme salli ala seyyidina Muhammedin ve ala seyyidina Muhammed. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Hayya aleyhisselam. Hayya aleyhisselam. Hayya aleyhisselam. Hayya aleyhisselam. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. La ilahe illallah.
Elhamdülillah, elhamdülillah, elhamdülillahi rabbil alemin. Salatu ve selamu ala Resulina Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ecmain. Nahmedullahi Teala ve nestağfiru en la ilahe illallah vahdehu la şerike leh ve eşhedü enne seyyidina Muhammeden abduhu ve habibuhu ve resuluh sallallahu aleyhi ve ala alihi ve ezvacihi ve tebettabi hulefâ raşidin mahadin min ba'di ve zemmeti ala tahkik hususan min alameti hulefâ Resulü ala tahkik Umar el-Mu'minin Hazreti Ebu Bakr, Umar, Osman ve Ali ve ala bakiye sahabet tabi'in ridvanullah teala aleyhim ecmain. Ya eyyuhel mu'minul hazirun ittakullah teala ve innallaha ma'allezîne tekvellezîne hum muhsinun. Elhamdülillahi rabbil alemin. Ve salatu ve selamu ala eşrafil enbiya ve mursalin Seyyidina Mevlana Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ecmain. All praises are due to Allah, Lord of the universes. All praises are due to Allah, the Lord of the heavens and the earth and all that is between them. All praises are due to Allah, who created the sun, the moon and the stars and set them in their orbits. All praises are due to Allah, who created Adam alayhi salam with his divine hands and who honored the children of Adam. All praises are due to Allah, who chose Sayyidina Muhammad alayhi salam as the master of Bani Adam and the mercy to the universes. And may all peace and blessings be upon the Sultan of the messengers, the Imam of the prophets, the master of the first and the last, the beloved of the Lord of the two easts and the two wests, the grandfather of Hassan and Hussein, Sayyidina Muhammad alayhi salam, and upon his noble family and blessed companions, especially upon the four Khulafa Rashidin, Hazrati Abu Bakr Siddiq, Hazrati Umar al-Faruq, Hazrati Osman al-Ghani and Hazrati Ali al-Murtaza and all those who follow them until the last day. O believers, we must guard our faith. Believers, we must defend ourselves from the traps of Shaitan and of Dajjal in these days. We should not be heedless. It is a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has said, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and do not be of the ghafilun, the heedless ones. And if we are awake, we are going to know that we are in the end of times. The worst fitna of the end of times, even worse than the fitna of Dajjal, is the fitna of the ulama of Akhir Zaman. Abu Zar radiallahu anh said, I was with the Prophet ﷺ one day and I heard him saying, there is something I fear for my ummah, worse than the Dajjal. It was then that I became afraid. So I said, Ya Rasulullah, which thing is that? And he ﷺ said, misguided and astray scholars. Holy Prophet ﷺ did not just tell us about these scholars to frighten us. He gave us their signs so that we can protect ourselves against them, because in the Akhir Zaman there is no protection to the Muslims or to the believers. He said, there are people whose skin is the same color as ours, who speak the same language as we speak. They mix correct matters which you know with bad matters which you condemn. They stand by the gates of hellfire inviting others to enter. If you listen to them, they push you in. And he ﷺ is also saying, there will appear in the Akhir Zaman men who confuse the world with the religion, tricking the people in soft skins of sheep, with words sweet as honey, but they will have the heart of a wolf. Allah will say, they want to deceive me. They want to defy me. I swear by myself, I will send a tribulation upon them that will leave the most patient amongst them astonished. What is Rasulullah ﷺ saying? It is pretty clear. The scholars of Akhir Zaman, they bring fitna. And they mask that fitna in the clothes of guidance. They're going to look like you. They're going to dress like you. They're going to be familiar with you. But they are going to be presenting misguidance as guidance. And Holy Prophet ﷺ is showing that they're going to make it look very attractive. It is going to be soft like a sheepskin. It is going to be sweet like honey. But the speakers are in fact going to be wolves. For anyone who is awake, they know this is exactly what we are facing today. People who are using the title of Mufti, Imam, Ustaz, Sheikh, Sidi, they are wearing the clothes of the scholars and are using the language of the scholars. And they are saying that they are representing and speaking Islam. But in fact, they're only calling people to more confusion. And their common trait is that this is how you're going to find these wolves in sheepskin. Their common characteristic is that they break away from all tradition. They may say that they are Sufi. They may say that they are Sunni. They may say that they love the traditions of the prophets and the saints. But once you listen to them and you look at them, you will understand that they break away from all tradition. If you want to identify these scholars, then look to see if they are bringing ideas that are completely new or not. Look to see if they are bragging, boasting, saying, you have never heard what I'm saying before. It has never been said before. I'm the first one in all of history to have said this, putting themselves higher than even the Sahabis. Look to see if they're going to insult and criticize the scholars of the past. Look to see if they're going to stay in a sneaky way that the Sahabe Kiram, they're going to say that the Sahabis, they made mistakes. Look to see if they are critical towards the Khalifas and the Sultans. When they show these signs, know that they are the agents of Dajjal. Because the Holy Prophet ﷺ said, there will be in Akhir Zaman deceivers and liars. They will come to you with things which neither you nor your forefathers ever heard. So stay away from them and keep them away from you, so that they do not misguide you and so that they do not throw you into fitna. You will know these scholars because they are completely cut off from the tradition of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and they are inventing a new religion under the name of Islam. Whatever their agenda is, whether it's personal, whether it's because of ideology, whether it's because of money, whether they're supported by governments and think tanks, believers, not anyone has a right to speak in Islam for Islam. Your right to speak in Islam does not come from how many Facebook views you have. The permission to speak in Islam does not come from your YouTube channel. The permission to speak in Islam comes through isnad, through a chain. For a man to speak in Islam, he must have a teacher. For a man to speak in Islam, he must have trained with that teacher and obeyed and submitted to that teacher. For a man to speak in Islam, that teacher must give him permission, ijazah, to speak. The righteous ulama and awliya who passed before us, they left a very strict system that led only the qualified ones to give knowledge and kept the mouths of the ignorant, egoistic ones closed. The Seljuks, that they were the ones who defended the Ahl Sunnah Aqidah. The whole world was turning towards cursing at the Sahabis, cursing at the Prophets, corrupting the Quran. The Seljuks, in the time when the fitna of the philosophers and the Mu'tazila and the Shia and the anthropomorphists, they were threatening to destroy the Ahl Sunnah. They set up the most advanced learning system in the history of Islam. Nizamul Mulk set up the madrasa system that produced scholars like Imam al-Ghazali, scholars who saved the Muslims from being misguided. Yes, the Nizamiya and those madrasas, they were real institutions. And the motto of the institutions of that time was, safety lies in tradition. Innovations lead to damnation. But today we are finding that institutions are being founded on innovations. People are founding madrasas and universities and printing presses with a motto, everybody before us was wrong, we know better than everyone else, and we are right. This is modern manifestation of Wahhabism that has infected the Ummah for centuries. The institutions that are being built today are not about the truth or about preserving tradition. They are here to destroy the tradition. They are not hiding it. They are saying themselves, we need to fix Islam so that it can survive in the modern era. Oh Muslims, wake up. Why do you think that these so-called Islamic universities are being built in America and Europe with so many non-Muslims leading them? So that Muslims will be cut off from their 1400 years of tradition which lies in the East. So that Muslims will forget who they are. So that a new Islam will be invented that mixes Christianity, Judaism, philosophy and Islam and pretends to be the deen of Allah. And these types of scholars and these types of schools, they're not interested in promoting haqq. They're only interested in promoting themselves. That is why we are seeing disgusting behavior from those claiming to be scholars that has never been seen before. We are seeing scholars falling over themselves to act like monkeys to make their audience to laugh. Because they are not scholars anymore. They become entertainers, only seeking to make their listeners to feel good. And if you want to make people feel good, you cannot tell them this is halal and this is haram, this is right and this is wrong. What you are doing, it is making Allah angry. No, you do this instead. If you say these words today, you will be kicked out of the masjid. Because Islam is supposed to be a religion of peace and love and unity and tolerance. Haqq is separate from batil. Never the two should be mixed. The scholars in the schools did not become like this out of nowhere too. This happened also because the Muslims in general, we have left Amri bil Ma'ruf wa Nahy anil Munkar. Muslims left enjoining the good and forbidding the evil. Muslims let the shaitanic sentence of only Allah can judge into their vocabulary, and in doing so lost their own sense of haqq and batil. Muslims are busy building their own lives, enjoying from the dunya. Muslims are no longer united under leadership because we want to be, like the West, free to decide our own destiny. Go to the masjids today. Nobody wants to hear about halal and haram anymore. Nobody wants to hear about haqq and batil anymore. If you do, they say what? You are a terrorist. You are ISIS. You are Wahhabi. Everybody just wants to talk about opinions. People want to debate about useless subjects that have no bearing on their lives. They only want to be busy with Malayani. Because the Muslims got fooled and they left and they betrayed their Khalifa. They left their Sultan. They left the shadow of Allah on earth. They left the spiritual representatives of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and they lost their spiritual compass and are now wandering arrogantly in the darkness, thinking they know where to go. And we are completely without any protection. This is one of the fitnas of Dajjal. The fitna of Dajjal is to say, do whatever you want. That is only law. And that is what Muslims want to hear from their scholars. And because the scholars have turned knowledge into a business, they will produce the product that their customers want, from east to west, north and south. Conferences have become like stand-up comedy. Speakers are speaking as entertainers because we are used to this kind of lifestyle, that everything that we see must be fun. Fun is the most important thing. So the Muslims, having lost their compass, they say, why not try this new style? It's working. Don't you see? Christians and Jews have done that for decades. We have lost out. We must do this. And it seems like it is working. Because more people are now in tune to know about Islam and to learn about Islam. But what you get is just confusion. Muslims are buying wholesale the most corrupt, evil talks that are coming from these shaitanic scholars today. Why are we using this harsh language? We must stand up for haqq. Their words are wrong. Their words are evil. Their words are shaitanic. Only shaitan scholars can stand up and say Holy Prophet was a kafir before Jibreel alayhi salam came. But we see thousands of people clapping for him. Only shaitan scholars can say that Adam alayhi salam, he was a failure. And everyone will share that video. Refreshing, they are going to say. Only shaitan scholars will say that the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he never split the moon. And people will say, this is very interesting. So-called scholars who claim to be experts in Akhir Zaman, in the knowledge of the Akhir Zaman, they keep on talking and talking and talking, speaking things that are against the Sahabi, against the Tabi'in, against the Sultan, and everyone will give him an ear to listen, both ears. These misguided ones can say, misguided, shaitanic ones. These scholars, they say, the Sahabis, they put punctuations in the Quran. Those ones who put punctuations in the Quran, they were wicked and they were evil. This is not hidden knowledge. This is all out there. They can say, you know what? Zulkarnain is actually Russia and Putin. Everyone, Muslims, should sign up and join the Russian army. And should sign up and support Iran because it is the only country with integrity in these days. Everybody for 1,400 years, they are wrong. This one is saying, I am right. I'm the first one to speak it. They can say, oh Muslims, you must join and support a regime that has the blood of millions of Muslims on its hands. They can claim we must join hands with the regimes that are cursing The Sahabe Kiram, who are cursing at the beloved companions of the Prophet, who are claiming that the Sunnis have removed 2/3 of the Quran, who are claiming that the Quran we have now is corrupted, who celebrate festivals cursing at Hazrati Umar, who cut cakes, cursing at Hazrati Aisha, pretending that the cake is her. They are claiming all these things. And they dare to say that the Ottomans, they were a creation of Dajjal. And they can look into the camera and say, nobody has ever said this before, and Muslims, they love it. Muslims watch, Muslims share it, and the Muslims are getting pulled into the fire with these Dajjals. 21st century Akhir Zaman Muslims, rejecting the tradition of Islam that has been preserved with the prayers of the awliya, the ink of the scholars, and the blood of the martyrs, and the swords of the rulers. 21st century Muslims want to change Islam to fit their own egos and desire, the lifestyle of 21st century, the lifestyle of the unbelievers. They establish laws and rulings that have been unquestioned. For 1400 years, they're now being challenged. And the things that have been known as haram and forbidden are being encouraged. And in doing all this, 21st century Muslims curse the Muslims who came before them, saying, we know better than them. And with each curse they utter from their lips, the ground shakes and Qiyamah draws closer. Because Holy Prophet ﷺ said, when the last ones of this ummah curse the first ones, then let them expect a red wind or the earth to swallow them or to be transformed into animals. Allah has made us to live in this Akhir Zaman, in this worst of times. We are being witness to this confusion of Dajjal, and we are declaring without any weakness or meekness that we are opposed to this evil. We are opposed to the changing of our religion. We are opposed to scholars who are serving the system of Dajjal. We are opposed to anyone who utters a single word against our Prophet, against his Sahabis, or against their inheritors. We stand for Haqq, and we oppose Batil. Power may not be in our hands or in our tongues, but Allah knows our hearts. And we are declaring that our hearts are for Him and for His pleasure. We are only a small group. We are only a handful of people. But Holy Prophet ﷺ told us, Allah's hand is over the Jamaat. We are trying to be that Jamaat that the Holy Prophet ﷺ described as the strangers of the Akhir Zaman. We feel very strange, very garib. But we know that Holy Prophet ﷺ, He is our protector. O believers, the days, they look very dark. But know that the help of Allah, it is near. We are living the words of the Holy Quran when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Do you think that you shall enter the garden without such trials as came to those who passed away before you? They encountered suffering and adversity, and they were so shaken in spirit that even the messenger and those of faith who were with him cried, when is the help of Allah coming? Verily the help of Allah is always near. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. Believers, never forget, Inna Nasrullahi Qareeb. The help of Allah is near. We are ending with the dua of our Grand Sheikh Sultan al-Awliya Shaykh Maulana Muhammad Nazim al-Haqqani saying, may Allah keep us safe from the fitna of the end of times. Ya Allah, this world will be over, finished. We have reached the last stage. Hazrat Isa will come to Syria. Allahu Akbar. The Dajjal will appear after the appearances of Mahdi alayhi salam, and then Nabi Isa alayhi salam will descend to kill the Dajjal. Allahu Akbar. Ya Rabbi, we ask you for safety and protection from the fitna of the end of times. May Allah make us under the banner of His beloved ones, here and in the hereafter. Ya Rabbi, keep us, our children, and our loved ones safe. Ya Kareem, Ya Allah, Ya Rahim, Ya Allah, Ya Jalil, Ya Allah, Ya Wadud, Ya Allah. Allah, Allah. Forgive us and heal us and all Muslims for the sake of our Sultan, the Sultan of human and jinn, Sayyidina Mahdi alayhi salam. Ameen. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah lazim alazi. La ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilayh. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد كل شيء قدير لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد كل شيء قدير لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك سبحان قدوس ربنا رب الملائكة سبحان قدوس ربنا رب الملائكة سبحان قدوس ربنا رب الملائكة إن دين عند الله الإسلام قام الصلاة
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
سيدنا مولانا محمد رسول الله